Okay, so this is limiting reagent and excess reagent part 3, so hopefully you've looked at the first two videos. This is going to be more advanced. But we still have our same recipe, 1 oxygen, 2 hydrogens, 2 waters, 1 egg, 2 cups of flour, 2 batches of cookies. So what if we start with 4 oxygens, or 4 eggs, plus 4 hydrogens, or 4 cups of flour? How many waters or batches of cookies could we make? Well, let's think about this. Basically, we need twice as much hydrogen as oxygen, or twice as much cups of flours as eggs, right? So if we have 1 oxygen, we need 2 hydrogens, twice as much. So if we have 4 oxygens, how many hydrogens do we need? Twice as much. So 4 times 2 would be 8. If we're going to use all 4 oxygens or all 4 eggs, we would need 8 hydrogens or 8 cups of flour. But do we have 8 hydrogens? No, we don't. We only have 4. So what that tells us is we know the cups of flour, hydrogen, is going to be our limiting reagent, right? Or you could think of it the other way, is you need half as much oxygen as you do hydrogen. So let's start there. So if we have 4 hydrogens, we need how much oxygen? Well, we need half as much oxygen as we do hydrogen. So what's half of 4? 2. So if we're going to use all 4 hydrogens, we only need 2 oxygens. Well, how much oxygen do we actually have? We have 4, so that means we have plenty. But that means we're going to use all of this, but only 2 of this. So then again, this is our limiting reagent, and again, this would be our excess reagent, right? But we did that in our head, so let's do it using dimensional analysis just in case that was confusing to you. So again, let's start with one ingredient. Doesn't really matter which one. Let's start with 4 oxygens. And again, we're going to cancel out the oxygens by putting oxygens down here, but this is going to be the recipe step. We're going to use this recipe here. So oxygen here, we need oxygen here. We have 1 oxygen here in our recipe, 1 oxygen. We want to know how many waters. So with 1 oxygen, you can get 2 waters. So we'll put 2 waters there. The oxygens cancel out. So we're left with 8 waters, right? So now let's do the same thing with the 4 hydrogens and see what we get, how many waters we get. So 4 hydrogens over 1. Again, this is the recipe step. We're going to use this recipe here. We're going to cancel out hydrogens. We're going to take the 2 hydrogens from the recipe here, and we're going to convert that into 2 waters or 2 products here, right? 2H2O. So the H's cancel out, the hydrogens cancel out, and the 2's cancel out, right? So we're left with 4 times 1 divided by 1 is what? 4 waters, 4 H2Os, right? So which one is it? It's going to be 4 hydrogens because that's smaller, right? But that confirms what we said before, is we're going to use all of the hydrogen, so this is going to be our limiting reagent, right? We're going to use all that up. And this, therefore, the oxygens will be our excess reagent. So in this case, we'll end up using just 2 oxygens. We'll have 2 oxygens left over as the excess reagent. So let's see if we can use this now using moles, if you know what moles are. Hopefully you do. If you don't, you can watch my other video on that. But hopefully everything up to that made sense to you. So let's make the numbers a little more complicated. Let's say 5 here and 7 here. Okay, so now what? Okay, so now let's start using moles. Okay, so 5 moles of oxygen over 1. That's what we have. The next step is the recipe. Well, the recipe says what? 1 mole of oxygen will give us 2 moles of water. So 1 mole of oxygen down here will give us 2 moles of water here, right? So the moles of oxygen cancel out. We're left with 5, 2, the ones on the bottom, we get 10 moles of H2O water. But we can't ignore this ingredient. We got to do the same thing. So we do 7 moles of hydrogen over 1. And now this is the recipe step. We're going to use our recipe here. So we put 2 hydrogens down here because we want these hydrogens to cancel out with these hydrogens. That's moles, sorry. This should be moles of H2. And we want to get 2 moles of product or water. So we put 2 moles of water there. So again, the moles of hydrogen cancel out. These two 2's cancel out. We're left with moles of water, so 7 times 1 divided by 1 is going to be 7 moles of water. So since this is the smaller number, we know this one here, the 7 moles of hydrogen, is going to be our limiting reagent. So that's our limiting reagent there. And this would be our excess reagent as a result.